everybody, welcome back to our channel. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day today. In today's video, I am going to bring you another look using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette. This is the third look that I created with the palette. I will link the other two looks down in the description box below, but if you guys are interested in seeing this eyeshadow tutorial with the Amrezy palette, then just keep on watching. So to start off the eyeshadow look, I have already primed my eyes using the P. Louise eyeshadow base in the shade 2.0. Next, I am taking the matte black from the eyeshadow palette and using a pencil brush, I am going to start packing this into the outer corner and then bringing it right into the crease in a half circle. Now I am taking this warm brown and again using another pencil brush, I am going to start packing this right up above the black. Once the color is packed and I'm happy with the pigmentation, I'm going to take another pencil brush and I'm just going to very lightly soften the edges. Next, I am taking this lighter brown from the palette and I'm repeating the same steps as before. So I am packing on the color and then lightly softening the edges. Next, to blend out the transition color, I'm going to be switching over to a smaller blending brush and I am going to blend out the transition color by making very tight and small circular motions. It doesn't look like I'm doing much, but I promise it is 100% blending out the eyeshadow. I am going to try to include as much of the blending process as I possibly can in this video. Since I am only including one eyeshadow look in this tutorial, I figured maybe that will help you guys out a lot to see how much blending actually goes into one of these looks. So hopefully you'll find that helpful. If not and you find it boring, let me know and I will make sure to leave it out of the next tutorial. So anyway, now we're just gonna continue to build up the pigmentation on the colors that we lost pigment on. So I'm going back into that warm brown and using the same small blending brush, I am applying the color and at the same time I am blending as I go to create a beautiful gradient. And now I'm moving on to the transition color and I'm just going to be adding a little bit more of this color and I'm also going to continue to build up pigment and blend as I go. It doesn't look like I'm doing much because my motions are very small, but I promise this is 100% blending. I just didn't want to blend out too much of the color so that it stayed in place, if that makes sense. I just didn't want it to go too close to the brow bone area and I also didn't want to lose too much pigment by over blending, so I kept my movements just very small and very tight. Hopefully that makes sense. And you guys will also see that I am going back and forth between the crease color, which is the darker brown, and then the lighter brown as my transition color. And I'm gonna repeat those steps back and forth until I'm happy with the pigmentation and the blend. And now we're finally moving on to cutting the crease. So I'm using the P. Louise eyeshadow base again, but this time I'm using the shade 0.0, which is just a white base. I like to apply it on the bottom of my lid, open my eyes, and then that gives me a marker that I should follow for the cut crease. Since I do have hooded eyes, this really helps to see where I'm going to get the transfer when I open my eyes. So after I do that, I just like to take the same brush and clean up the shape of the cut crease. Then I'm gonna move on to this white eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, and I'm using this to set the P. Louise eyeshadow base. And now moving on to the lid color, I am grabbing the shade Leo on a flat brush and applying that to the lid. And I'm going to do this in a little bit of a complicated way. So I started applying this color and then I realized that it is a shimmer shade, obviously. So I wanted to go back to the edge of the cut crease and add a little bit more color. So I'm going back into that warm brown, and using a pencil brush, I'm just going to apply that to the outer edge of the cut crease so that it blends a lot easier with the shimmer blue shade that we're applying on the lid. I then went back to a little bit of that black and I added more of that black and blended it in with the brown. Once I was happy with the way that looked, I went back to the shimmer blue to finish the color on the lid. Next, I am going back to the dark brown and I am using a small brush to define the edges of the cut crease. Next, I am coming in with the shade Barb and I'm just applying that over top of the shade Leo to just give this shade more of a wet eyeshadow look. Next, I am taking the shade Gemini and applying that right to the inner corner for a little pop of glitter. Now grabbing the matte black, I'm applying that all over the lower lash line. And for a pop of color, I am going into the pink shade and applying that right below the black eyeshadow to blend the lower lash line. And for the waterline, I am taking Fenty Beauty's Space Cookie pencil. And I actually was not liking the way that that glitter was looking in the inner corner, so I went back to the shade Barb and I just went over that glitter with Barb, and I have to say I like it much better. For mascara, I am using Fenty Beauty's mascara for both my top and bottom lashes. Moving on to lashes, I am using Tati lashes in the style TL4. And this is just a little trick that I figured I would show you guys. When I put on my lashes, I usually like to apply them from the middle and then I secure one end and then I move on to the other end and glue them down that way. But anyway, this is the completed eyeshadow look. I hope that you guys like this video, and I do plan on either doing the tiny face challenge and also the ColourPop collection. I also ordered the new Norvina palette, so I will be making videos with that palette. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here and watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one, and remember, you can find us all over social media at GlitterBeauties, the same way that is spelled here on the channel. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.